of things. It's a little bit colder this week, so please just make sure you've got warm layers to hand if you need them. Don't feel like you've got to take socks and jumpers off to begin with. If you're feeling a bit chilly, make sure you stay nice and warm. Just to note, if you do have your socks on, if you're on a wooden floor or tiled floor, anything that's a little bit slippy, please just take care and make sure that you're not sliding around on the floor underneath you. Other than that, before we get started today, just make sure you've got your water to hand and that you're taking water breaks whenever you need to. And then all we need today in terms of kit is your chair as usual. If you have got a mat that you can put underneath the chair for a bit of extra grip, that's great. And then a couple of cans of whatever you can find in the cupboard for weights, or if you do have dumbbells or hand weights at home, then just making sure you've got those to hand. So we will just start getting going today. Don't want to hang around too long because it's a bit chilly today. So we're just going to start sitting comfortably on our chairs. And just to begin with, taking our backs off the backrest, sitting nice and tall, and just thinking about our posture for a minute. So we're going to see if we can sit in a position on the chair where we can plant our feet onto the floor, spread the toes and press through the soles of the feet, and then taking that through the legs, so there's a little bit of strength in the legs, and then sitting tall in the chair, thinking about stacking the spine all the way up, and then continuing that out the top of the head, reaching the crown of the head up towards the sky. And at the same time, letting the shoulders roll down the back, thinking about drawing the shoulder blades down and together at the back. And then just finding a comfortable place for your hands to rest, whether that's in your lap or by your side, whatever works for you. And then before we begin today, we're just going to take a moment to check in with ourselves. So if you want to close your eyes here, then go ahead, if you feel comfortable doing that. We're just going to take a moment to check in with our bodies, see how we're feeling today. Just take note of any aches or pains you might be feeling in the body today. What kind of energy level you're coming to the session with today. And then taking that focus to your mind and just paying attention to what's going on in the mind today. Have you got lots of thoughts buzzing around, plans or problem solving? Any particular big emotions going on for you at the moment? Just take a moment to clock in with your mind and see how you're feeling and thinking today. And we'll come back to this towards the end of the session. And I just would like you to notice any changes, any difference in the mind and the body after our little session here today. And then from here, we're going to take the focus from the mind to the breath. So just noticing the air flowing in and out, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. And just taking a moment to be a little bit more conscious of our breathing. So normally we're on autopilot and that breath just happens without even thinking about it. But what we're going to do now is just bring our awareness to the breath, breathing with a little bit more intention. Taking that breath a little bit deeper. See if we can slow that pace down a little bit. Breathing further down into the lungs with the inhale and slowing that exhale down. And keep that going, seeing if you can lengthen the breath each time. Thinking about growing tall as you breathe in and relaxing as you breathe out. And now let's see if we can lengthen that breath so that we're breathing in for 3 and out for 3. And then after a couple of rounds of that nice long in-breath and out-breath, we're going to increase the exhale further. So this time I'd like you to see if you can breathe in for 3 and out for 6. So a really slow, controlled out-breath. And again, breathing in for 3, to the bottom of the lungs, and then breathing out to 6. Nice, slow, controlled out breath. You might notice as you breathe now, in this more controlled style, that you can start to hear that breath inside your head. Just creating a little bit of resistance as we breathe out to allow that breath to slowly release. Okay, and then just letting that breath relax back into a more natural rhythm. Opening the eyes if you have them closed already. And just noticing how you feel now after those deep breaths. Perhaps that's brought a little bit of energy to the body, maybe even a bit of calm to the mind. And let's take that focus now into warming our bodies up. So we're going to start with a gentle head roll, taking the ear to one shoulder, chin to chest, and then back to the other side. And keep that going for a few rotations, just drawing a half circle here, nice and gently. Noticing any tight spots in the neck, moving down into the shoulders. And if you want to here, you can pause anywhere that feels like it needs a little bit more of a stretch. And breathe into those tight spots. And then bringing the head back to the middle, releasing the arms and coming into shoulder roll. So we're going to go forwards first. Nice big roll of the shoulders all the way forwards and down. One more here and then changing direction. So this time we're going up, back, down, and forwards. Just noticing any clicking or cracking in the shoulders as we release some of the tension that might have built up across the morning, or perhaps if you've woken up feeling a bit stiff today, just releasing some of that tension in the shoulders. And relaxing the shoulders back down here. And then from here, we're going to move into the side of the body, taking some gentle side stretches. So reaching up and over, taking hold of the side of the chair if you need a little bit of extra support here. And if you want to think about your breathing at the same time, we're breathing in as we reach up and breathing out as we fold over. Thinking about lengthening as you breathe in and relaxing over as you breathe out. Do 4 more here. Seeing if we can get a little bit deeper into that stretch. And then coming all the way back up to sitting and moving into the back and the front of the body. So we're going to start by thinking about wrapping our arms around a big tree trunk, interlacing the fingers in front of us, and then drawing the belly button back towards the spine, dropping the chin to the chest. So we're creating a lovely stretch across the back of the shoulders. Stretching here, taking a few deep breaths. Keeping the elbows up and out to the side so they're not dropping down. Imagining you've got your arms wrapped around that tree trunk or a beach ball. And then changing direction, bringing the hands around. And if you can, take hold of the back of the chair. Or if you've got enough space, you can interlace the fingers behind you and press the hands away. Some stretching across the chest. And stretching the back in the opposite direction. So tipping the pelvis forwards And then returning to our tree hug pose. And then switching again. And then let's just speed that up a little bit now. So we're going to work with the breath, breathing out as we come through to hug the tree, breathing in as we open the chest and reach back. Breathing out, breathing in. Just 4 more here. Lovely. Last one. And then coming back to a nice neutral spine. And then from here, just taking it into the hips. So that starting with one leg, making sure that we're nice and forward on the chair here so that we've got enough space for the hip to move. So bringing one leg up, gently taking hold of the knee, in front or behind, and then taking some gentle circles, working into the hip joint. In one direction, and then changing direction. And then swapping over the sides. Trying to get those circles as big as you can. It's a bit tricky for me to demonstrate that now with my big baby bump in the way. But if you can try and make those circles as big as possible, so we're really working into that hip joint, starting to mobilize, loosen up any tight spots, and warm up the joint and the muscles around it. Changing direction if you haven't already. And placing the feet back on the floor. And then just moving down into the feet. We're just going to come up onto the toes and back down, nice and slow to begin with, working through the feet all the way up onto the balls of the feet and back down. Keep that going. Really thinking about pressing the balls of the feet into the floor, working through the feet so the heels come off, then through the arc, up into the balls and back down. Feeling that in the calves as well as the ankles. Keep that going just a little bit longer. Lovely. And then relaxing. And just taking a few little warm-up exercises for our hands and our wrists as well. So just starting with some gentle circles. So taking the wrists round in one direction. And then changing direction. Circling the other way. And then taking the hands in front of you, and we're just going to scrunch into fists and then open the hands into stars. Really thinking about stretching out through the fingertips and squeezing the hands nice and tightly into fists. And you'll notice that that's starting to warm up the hands, but also the forearms as well. So we're going to be working with a few arm strengthening exercises in our sequence today. It's really good just to warm those muscles up before we get going with them. And then relaxing, just giving the hands a little shake. And then bringing the palms together in front of the chest, lifting the elbows and pressing the hands together, stretching into the backs of the hands and the wrists. Remember to breathe through your stretches. And then bring the fingertips down the middle, backs of the hands together, elbows wide still, and press the hands together in the other direction. So we're just stretching along the other side. Excellent, well done. So before we get up and start on our sequence, we're just going to take a few weighted exercises. So continuing to warm up the body and also prepare it for some of the poses that we've got in our sequence today. So we're just going to start with some simple rotations in the arms, but at the same time we're going to be holding the arms out away from the body just to load a little bit of work into those muscles. So we're going to start by taking the arms out to the side at shoulder height, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, and then we're just going to turn the hands, palms facing up and down. And we're just going to keep that going for 20 seconds. So here we go, up and down. Keep the arms at shoulder height. If you need to do this without the weights, that's absolutely fine. I'd rather that you had the arms up, the shoulder blades down at the back, than dropping the arms because their weights are too heavy. Okay, and rest. Bring the arms back in. Excellent. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to take the arms out in front. Okay, ready? Arms out in front, shoulder height, and here we go. Turn up and down. And keep the arms elevated. They don't need to be up at head height, just shoulder height, but let's see if we can keep them there for the whole 20 seconds. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Excellent. Just give the arms and the shoulders a little shake. Hopefully you're starting to feel some warmth in the arms already. And then from here, we're going to move the focus into the upper back. So taking a weight in each hand, we're just going to shift the weight forward slightly, keeping the back nice and long. So if I turn to the side, you should be able to see that we're hinging in the hips, but we're keeping the back long, so we're not curving and dropping and hunching down. Keeping a nice and long spine, but just tipping the weight forward slightly to enable us to load the work into the right part of the body. So we're going to start with one arm at a time. So leave one hand resting in your lap. The other hand is going to come down to the side. And we're going to lift the arm up to shoulder height and back down. And as you lift the arm up to the side, you should feel that the shoulder blade squeezing at the back here and back down. So we're going to do 4 on one side, 4 on the other side, and then we're going to do both together. So here we go. Lifting for 1, squeeze and down. 2, squeeze and down. 3, squeeze down. And 4, squeeze at the top and down. And then swapping hands, going to the other side. 1, making sure we're squeezing those shoulder blades at the back. 1 more here, and then we're going to take both arms together. Okay, here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excellent. And then sitting all the way back up, moving into the side of the body. So just taking one weight at a time now. And we're going to drop the weight down by your side and come into some side dips that are just going to work into the side oblique muscles. So we're just keeping everything facing forward. We're just dipping down to the side, coming back up to the middle, and then just slightly past center. Okay, so that we're getting a little bit of work on both sides of the body. The main focus is dropping down towards the weighted hand, but we're going to come back and just past center a little way before returning over to the side. So let's do that on one side for 20 seconds, and then we'll swap sides. Okay, ready? Here we go. And you can choose your pace here. We're not worrying about going too fast. I'd rather you have a nice squeeze in the side and just took that extra second or 2 longer than rushing through it. 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming back to the middle and swapping sides, going on the other side. Here we go. down and just past centre. Squeezing in the side of the body. Okay. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming all the way back up. Well done. Okay, last of all, we're going to do a bit of a combination move now. So we're going to take both weights back in our hands and hold them out at the side. But where we were turning our hands up and down before, we're just going to take them out and hold them there this time. So really concentrating on that form, holding the shoulder blades together and down at the back. Imagine that you're trying to squeeze something between the shoulder blades at the back, keeping the hands up at shoulder height. And then at the same time, we're going to take some gentle leg raises. So the idea here is that we're going to just put a little bit of work into our core as well as the arms and the legs. So with the arms out at the side, we're just lifting one leg at a time, up and down. And as you lift up, we're thinking about squeezing the tummy muscles to help bring that leg up towards the body. Keeping the knees bent to begin with. If you are finding that is not doing much for you, you can extend the legs and lift the legs at full extension. Okay, so let's do this all together. Taking the hands out to the side. Here we go, lifting up. Keep those legs moving. So really thinking about using the core to stabilize your body here, allowing you to lift the legs and keep nice and upright on your chair, not hunching over, nice tall spine. 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, well done. So popping those weights down now. We're not going to do too much more with the weights because we are going to be working on some arm strength in our sequence. And as always, those legs are going to come into it as well. So we're going to move into our sequence now. There's potentially a couple of new poses that we might not have done before or perhaps not done for a while. So we're going to start nice and slow, breaking down the poses, just making sure that we've got our technique right. And then second time round, we'll speed things up a little bit so we can get that heart rate elevated and just focus on the flow. So turning your chair to the side or coming round to the front of your chair and standing up, we're going to start in mountain pose. If you have still got socks on, you might want to pop them off now. And we're going to start with the feet hip distance apart, just taking note that if you're watching me, I am going to have my legs further apart to allow space for the baby bump. But please, if you can, try to keep your feet hip distance apart, remembering that you can measure this with your fists, placing them between your feet, just to make sure you've got that spacing right. So, to begin with, we're just standing in mountain pose, so let's take a moment to get that posture right. Sucking the tailbone under, rolling the shoulders up, back and down, standing tall, growing through the spine. Feet facing forwards. If you can, we're thinking about lining up the feet with the outside edge of your mat, or if you've got any lines on your carpet or on your floor, you can think about lining the outside edge up there. And then we're taking a big deep breath in, reaching all the way up to mountain pose. And then as you breathe out, folding down, bringing the hands to the seat of the chair, then come into your half fold position with a nice flat back, soft knees. And then with your next out breath, going down to a full fold, wherever that is for you. So you can think about bringing the forearms or even the forehead down towards the seat of the chair. If you can, bring the hands down in front of the chair and get lower if you want to. Up to you. Just taking a couple of breaths here, stretching down the back of those legs. And then coming all the way back up to our tabletop position. And then from here, we're going to move into cat and cow. So starting by drawing the belly button up towards the spine, arching the back, dropping the chin to the chest, into cat pose. And then moving through to cow pose, opening the chest through the arms and back again. So we'll do 3 more, so 4 in total. Here we go, 2 more. And last one. And then returning to a nice and neutral spine. And then from here, we're going to move into a yoga press up. So you can keep the legs where they are, soften the knees slightly, and then we're thinking about bending the elbows back along the side of the body, lowering the chest towards the chair, and then pressing back up again. Or if you would like more, you can step back and come into a plank pose, and then take the press up from there. It's up to you. You might want to start here, and then as we go through the sequence, progress to the plank pose. It's entirely up to you. So we're going to take 4 yoga press ups here. So here we go. 1. Breathing in as you lower. 2. Breathing out as you press up. 3. And 4. Excellent. And then from here, we're stepping 1 foot back and coming into a calf stretch. So stepping 1 foot back and placing the toes on the floor behind you, drawing the heel down towards the floor and bending through that front leg. So it's almost like a warrior 1 position with the feet, except that both our toes are facing forwards. And we're pressing down into that back heel like you would in downward facing dog, stretching all the way down that back leg. Lovely long calf stretch. Breathing here. And then we're going to add a little side twist into this stretch. So shifting the weight forwards to release the back foot, and then stepping the back foot behind you and crossing over the body. So it's now reaching past your front foot. So we're creating a little bit more of a stretch on the side of the body, and then taking the gaze to look back towards that back heel. And stretching. Lovely. And then bringing the foot back behind you. And this time we are going to adjust the feet slightly so that we can come into a warrior 1 pose with the feet. So the back foot is at 45 degrees, allowing the heel to come down onto the floor. Front foot is bent, front knee is still bent, knee over the toes. And then we're going to press into the hand on the same side as the front leg, and then release the arm on the same side as the back leg and twist up towards the sky. Looking up towards that hand if you can, keeping the body nice and long. And stretching here. And then bringing the hand back to the chair. And from here, we're going to press through the legs and come up to warrior 1. So sweeping up. And then breathing out and sinking down into warrior 1. Spreading those legs out a little bit further if you need a bit more space here. Just taking another round of breath here. And then from here, we're going to open into triangle pose. So first of all, we're going to straighten the front leg. And as you do that, you'll notice that your hips turn slightly towards the side. So just allow that to happen. And then taking the arms out to the side, reaching from fingertip to fingertip. And then from here, we're going to press the hip back towards the back hip. And then reach up and over towards the front foot, bringing the hand onto the chair and lifting the other arm, keeping the body nice and long. So we're thinking about stretching through the side rather than crunching or collapsing in the side. And breathing here, pressing into the legs, nice, strong, straight legs, Just trying not to let those knees lock completely. And then from here, bringing the body back round to the front and sweeping through into warrior one more time. Shoulders down away from the ears. And then stepping the back foot forwards, coming back to mountain pose. Now breathing out and bringing the hands down the middle. Okay, excellent. We're going to do that all again on the other side. So starting with a big deep breath in and reaching up. Breathing out and folding down, bringing the hands to the chair. Just making sure you've got enough space here to create that nice long flat back in your half fold. And then with the next out breath, we're folding all the way down to a full fold, wherever that is for you. Trying to relax the neck and the shoulders wherever you are. And then gently coming back up to a half fold. And then from here, we're working into our cat and cow poses. So 4 of each. Here we go. Cat pose, moving out. And cow pose, moving in. And again, cat pose. And cow pose. Keep going, working through that spine. Last pair here. Lovely. And then coming back to your neutral spine. Stepping the feet back into plank if you want to, or staying here and coming into our yoga press ups. So keeping the elbows tight to the side of the body, bending the chest down and up. Remembering to breathe in and out. 2 more to go. Lovely. Excellent. And then from here, stepping one leg back. So just making sure we're stepping back with the other leg this time to come into our calf stretch. Bending through the front knee, tucking the toes of the back foot in and reaching the back heel away. Stretching here. Taking a few lovely big deep breaths as we think about working that heel towards the floor. And then lifting the foot, shifting the weight forward slightly and crossing that foot further over behind you. And then taking the gaze to look towards that back heel and then dropping down again. So feeling that stretch now along the side of the body as well. And it also just shifts the focus of the stretch into the bottom muscles as well. Lovely. And then coming back behind you directly, but just turning that foot so that we're now in that warrior one position with the back foot at 45 degrees, the front foot facing forwards. And then from here, we're pressing into the hand on the same side as the front leg and releasing the arm on the same side as the back leg into a nice open side angle. Opening through the chest. And again here, keeping the shoulders away from the ears and thinking about drawing those shoulder blades together behind you. And then bringing the hand back to the chair before pressing through the legs nice and strong, coming up to warrior one. And breathing out and sinking down. Making a bit more space if you need to. And then straightening the front leg, letting the hips turn slightly to the side. Taking the arms out to the side, again, shoulders down, shoulder blades drawing together. Coming into our triangle pose by first pressing into that back hip, then lifting up and over, then coming into your triangle pose. So trying to create a nice straight line from one hand all the way down to the other. So rather than being here or here, We're trying to create a nice open flat line through the chest. And from one hand to the other. Excellent. And then pressing through the legs again to come up and sweep through to warrior one, breathing in, breathing out and sinking down. And then either walking or stepping that back foot forwards, coming back to mountain pose as you breathe in, breathing out and bringing the hand down the middle. Lovely. Okay, so hopefully we've got a little bit more of an idea of a couple of those newer poses. So the triangle pose and the side angle with the hand on the chair. That calf stretch is quite new as well. And now we're going to speed things up a little bit. So instead of holding the poses, we're just going to keep flowing from pose to pose, working with the breath and getting that heart rate lifted a little bit more. So just taking a moment to remember which leg you're going to step back with first for our calf stretch. We're returning to the first side, taking the whole sequence on both sides. Here we go, big deep breath in, reaching up. Breathing out and folding down. Breathing in and lengthening through the spine. Breathing out and coming to a full fold. Breathing in and returning to your half fold with a nice long spine. Breathing out as you come through to cat pose. Breathing in, cow pose. Breathing out in cat pose. Breathing in, cow pose. 4 more to go. Last 2. And then returning to your nice long spine. And then with the next in-breath, come down into your yoga press up, breathing out and coming up. And again. 2 more to go, breathing in as you lower, breathing out as you push up. Last one. Excellent. Returning to your nice long flat back and then stepping back with one foot, pressing into the heel, bending through the front leg, coming into your calf stretch. You might need to take that a little bit further out this time. Hopefully we're feeling a little bit warmer, perhaps able to stretch a little bit deeper. And then taking the foot across, breathing in and lengthening, breathing out and twisting. Breathing in and returning the foot, breathing out as you prepare the feet into that warrior one position. Breathing in as you press through the front hand, breathing out as you open and twist. Breathing in and returning to the chair, pressing through the legs, breathing out as you sweep up. Breathing in warrior one, breathing out and sinking down. Breathing in as you straighten the legs, open the arms, breathing out as you tip over into triangle pose. Breathing in and returning to warrior one, breathing out as you sink down. Breathing in and stepping forwards. Breathing out and bringing the hands down the middle, ready to go on the other side. Big deep breath in, reaching up. Breathing out and folding down to your half fold. Breathing in here as you lengthen. Breathing out as you come down to a full fold. Breathing out as you come back, nice long flat back. Breathing out into cat pose. Breathing in cow pose and keep that going. 3 more to go. And last pair. Lovely. And then returning to your nice flat back before moving into our yoga press ups. So breathing in as you lower, breathing out as you push up. Lower, and breathing out as you push up. 2 more to go. Last one. Excellent. And then stepping the other foot back this time, coming into our calf stretch, bending through the front leg, pressing into that back heel, moving out and sinking into the stretch. Moving in as you lift and cross it further over, breathing out as you sink a little bit further down. Breathing in as you step the foot back, and breathing out as you prepare the feet into that warrior one position. Breathing in as you press through the front hand, breathing out as you twist and open. Breathing in and returning the hands to the chair. Breathing out as you sweep up into warrior one. Breathing in and reaching up. Breathing out and sinking down. Breathing in as you open, straighten the leg and come to a triangle. Breathing out as you fold in the torso. Breathing in and coming back up. Breathing out as you sink down into warrior one. Stepping that back foot forward as you breathe in. And then breathing out and bringing the hands down the middle. Excellent. Well done, everybody. There's a few new poses in there. A little bit of work in the arms as well. So we're just going to take a bit of time to stretch through the arms, the chest and the shoulders before we move on. So we've done this before using a wall. If you've got a wall that's got some space on it nearby, then draw your knee towards a wall. If that's not an option for you, I'll give you an option for a standing stretch that doesn't use the wall. So we're just going to take our space at the wall to begin with, standing side on, and starting by placing the arm bent at the elbow at shoulder height onto the wall. And then we're going to step forwards with the leg that's closest to the wall and bend the knee. So we're simulating that calf stretch one more time, but now we're also stretching into the shoulder and the chest. Okay, and if you don't have a wall to press against here, you can use your chair. So you can take hold of the chair. It will just be a slightly lower stretch. Take hold of the chair at your side and then step forward and just allow that shoulder here to stretch back. If you can, straighten the arm and press against the chair, that's even better. Or you can simply open the arm at shoulder height and reach it behind and stretch forwards. Just won't be quite as deep a stretch without the resistance of something to press against. So breathing into that stretch, feeling that lovely chest opening stretch here and working into the shoulder. And then changing sides, so either turning around or finding a wall on the opposite side. Taking the arm up at shoulder height, and remembering that we're stepping forwards with the leg that's closest to the wall. Shifting that weight forward slightly so the arm is now slightly behind us on the wall. Stretching into that chest. And then coming back up and releasing the arm. And then we're just going to take a thread the needle pose against the wall. So placing both hands on the wall at shoulder height. We're going to take one hand, turn the back of the hand against the wall. I'm just going to lift this hand high so you can see what I'm doing. Slide that hand through and underneath you until you bring your shoulder against the wall. And just take a stretch here. So if you don't have a wall to use, you can just bring that arm across the body and hug it in. Okay. Using the weight of your body just to increase that stretch a little bit here. Breathing into the shoulder Feeling that stretch on the opposite side of the body now. So we've just stretched and opened the chest, and now we're working into the back of the shoulder. And then swapping sides, we're taking the other hand, turning the back of the hand against the wall, sliding it underneath the other arm, bringing the shoulder to the wall, and trying to keep the body facing the wall as much as possible. So the more you open away from the wall, the less you're going to feel that stretch. The more you can face the wall, the deeper that stretch will be. And just try to keep that arm that's against the wall at shoulder height if you can. And then releasing. And just giving the arms a little shake. And then we're going to come onto the chair and just take some gentle stretches through the side of the body. So we had a couple of poses there that really worked on opening through the side of the body, stretching down the side of the body. So let's just take a moment to work through those. And we're just going to keep this nice and simple, taking the arms all the way up and overhead. And then we're just going to take a gentle circle coming down, round, and back up, and then changing direction from the top, working into side of the body, changing direction again, keep that going. And you can use this exercise to think about your breathing once more. So let's see if we can focus on the breathing as we take these gentle circles. So breathing in as you come to the top, and breathing out as you come down to the bottom. Let's see if we can slow that down a little bit. Let's do 4 more here. Really slowing that tempo down. Focusing on the breath. Breathing in at the top. And a nice long exhale as you sweep round. Breathing in at the top. Nice slow exhale as you come round. Last one. And then just releasing the arms, giving them a little shake. Okay, excellent, well done. And then from here, we're going to just find that nice posture that we started with. So sitting with the feet planted on the floor, strong legs, pulling the muscles of the legs up, pressing down into the chair through the seat of your bottom, and sitting tall, stacking the vertebrae, shoulders down away from the ears, shoulder blades down and together at the back, and then reaching up through the top of the head, nice tall spine. And then before we fully come into our relaxation, I just want you to close your eyes again if you're comfortable doing that, and check in with your body and your mind once more. And just notice how you're feeling now compared to the beginning of the session. See if there are any differences, whether any of those tight spots have worked their way out, whether you've got some new sensations in the body now from the work we've been doing, and how are you feeling in your mind? Do you feel the same level of thoughts bouncing around in there, or things calmed a little? And then from here, bringing that attention back to the breath once more. And while we're sitting tall, creating lots of space in the lungs for that deep breath, we're going to return to those breaths, breathing in for 3 and out for 6. So let's do that 3 times together. Here we go. Breathing in, out, 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 and in for 1, 2, 3, and breathing out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. Big deep breath in, reaching tall through the top of the head. 2, 3, and breathing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then from here, just allowing yourself to relax into the chair now, keeping that spine nice and long, so we're not slouching, but just allowing the back to rest comfortably into the chair. And we're just going to start thinking about relaxing the body a little bit more, releasing any tension that might have built up from the session or from the day so far. Starting at the feet, thinking about scrunching the toes into the soles of the feet. Squeeze, 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 and relax. And let any last bits of tension in the feet flow down and away into the ground. And then moving to the hands, squeezing the fingers into the palms, squeezing the hands into fists, squeeze, 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 and relax. And let any last bits of tension in the hands flow down and away into the ground. And then coming to the legs and hugging the muscles of the legs tight to their bones. Squeeze, 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 and relax. And let any last bits of tension in the legs flow down and away into the ground. And then moving to the arms and hugging the muscles of the arms tight to their bones. Squeeze, 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 and relax. And let any last bits of tension in the arms flow down and away into the ground. And then moving to the face, squeezing the eyes shut, scrunching the nose up, pressing the lips together. Squeeze, 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 and relax. And let any last bits of tension in the face flow down and away into the ground. And then as you sit here, just notice any last tight spots, aches or pains in the body. And if you can, see if you can breathe into those places and just allow them to relax a little further. Seeing if we can let go of that tension. And then with one hand, we're just going to gently cross the body to the opposite shoulder and give ourselves a gentle little shoulder massage. So just carefully using the fingers to knead into the fleshy parts of the back of the shoulder. And if you find any crunchy, sort of marbly spots, just gently working those away with your fingers. Giving the shoulder a little squeeze, maybe working down through the top of the arm as well. And then swapping sides, so the other arm crossing the body to the opposite shoulder and starting to gently massage into the fleshy part, the muscly parts of the top of the shoulder there. Working the fingers into any little crunchy marbles, or using more of the flat palm of your hand to squeeze into the shoulder and maybe down into the forearm too, with the upper arm. And then releasing and letting the hands rest into the lap. And just bringing your attention back to that breath one more time. Noticing the flow of air coming in and out. Just taking a moment here. Try to keep your mind here. And if that's a real struggle, then you can sense lots of thoughts and feelings popping into your mind, noting that sensation of cloudiness in the brain. What we're going to do is just use that breath to blow those clouds away and bring a little bit more clarity and calmness to the mind. So focusing on the breath, I want you to imagine every time you blow out, you're blowing the clouds away from inside your mind. Creating a beautiful view across your mind. And if you notice another thought or feeling popping into your mind, picture it as a cloud that you can gently blow away, clearing the path and creating a more clear and calm mind. And you can keep doing that as many times as you need to. If you're still feeling distracted, you have something else on your mind. And then we're just going to take a moment here to be still and calm and quiet. And then gently we're going to begin to wake our bodies back up again, giving our toes a wiggle and our fingers a wiggle. And then just taking one hand across to the opposite hand and using the thumb to gently massage into the palm of the other hand, waking the hands up, perhaps squeezing down the length of the fingers one at a time. And then swapping over, so just running the thumb down the palm of the other hand. And then squeezing all the length of the fingers. And then taking those hands up to the face and just gently circling in the cheeks, waking the face up. And then using the fingertips to create a gentle pitter-patter sensation across the forehead, into the temples. Gently on top of the eyelids if you want to. Down onto the neck, the chest. Almost like heavy rain, starting to wake the body up. And then from here, taking a big stretch, reaching your arms all the way up overhead. Yawn if you need to. And then coming up to sitting and taking one last big deep breath in as we reach the arms all the way up overhead. Looking up towards the hands and then breathing out and bringing the palms down the middle. Okay, excellent. Well done.